Alrighty. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Happy Friday, November 14th, 2025. Hope you had a great week, had a great day, and ready for a great weekend. I know I am. We've got a lot to talk about today. ESPN and Disney absolutely spiraling out of control. Not to mention the fact that sports gambling is about to go through a huge change. The NFL is suing the NFLPA. Lots of issues everywhere around the Eagles. MLB awards have come out. There's an NBA All-Star announcements. There's a lot going on. We're going to break it all down. Before I go any further, though, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X, TikTok. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help out a lot more than you know. But let's go ahead and get it moving. What do I want to start with today? Let me tell you what I want to start with today. I want to start with how ridiculous it is that we are now going into our third college football week, third week with Monday Night Football, that it's not going to be able to be seen on YouTube TV. And from everyone reporting, it does seem like this will be going on for a little while, as a spokesperson from ESPN did mention. And it's absolutely wild, coming off of the heels of Disney's fourth quarter call, where they did see losing 10 or $18 billion in market cap after missing earnings. And so the whole ESPN YouTube thing being an issue along with that. Now, other reports have come out and said that it's not the ESPN part as much as it's the ABC part of the whole issue. And so not agreeing on that price or what they're going to get there. Other rumors coming out saying YouTube TV also wants the full ESPN sports package if they are going to continue to negotiate like this. We'll see what happens there. But overall, still, the number one loser in all of this going on between ESPN, YouTube, Disney is still us, and it is still the sports fans. I understand that everyone for maybe a day was pissed off about not being able to see Dancing with the Stars, but luckily they were able to figure out other ways to do that. It's unbelievable that it's always the sports fans that they ask to step in, or they ask to, that essentially have to pay for it at the end of the day. No one's missing their soaps. No one's missing their regularly scheduled programming, but the sports fans are missing the live entertainment, the live sports, which means so much. And that's why these TV deals have just gone through the roof. Live sports are what get people to tune in to regular TV channels, get people to tune in to Netflix on Christmas Day, et cetera, et cetera. And again, like I've said since this started, it's absolutely terrible situation we're in, and it's almost unforgivable that it's not been handled yet, and this is not completed and done. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's childish. It's stupid. It's about as Mickey Mouse as it comes. And the funny thing is, ESPN must think everybody, is against YouTube TV, against Google on this. I haven't heard one person say a bad thing about YouTube TV and Google. Now, maybe they're also part of the problem, and they are. It takes two to tango. But the long and the short of it is, Disney's the one who's been kind of acting in bad faith in all of this. YouTube, $20 credit, whatever, for the next 3 months. Hey, $60 is $60. I'll put that $60 in my pocket. You know what I mean? But still, they're the only ones really trying to remedy the situation and make it good in the eyes of, the consumer and the sports fans. And ESPN at this point can fuck off. And I mean, cool. So we get College Game Day on X now. Like, whatever, dog. Like, I'm not here for it. I'm not about it. And it continues to be the number one thing that pisses me off. Going on for a third week now. Wow, that's impressive. Usually I get over stuff, but this is a continuing problem that is frustrating me. And the ESPN app sucks so much. Like, seriously, if Disney and ESPN wanted us to use the app and buy the app, make it better. Seriously, like, I can't even log in to watch a game I want to watch, let alone how good your 4-box is, which is absolute ass. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's dumb. We're moving on because somehow ESPN continues to step in it. And it's starting to become hilarious because I don't know, man. Like, I really haven't watched ESPN in forever. I'll watch McAfee, but I watch that on YouTube. I don't give ESPN the views or anything like that. I don't watch their ads or shit like that. But I'm sick and tired. Like, maybe I'll watch Get Up every once in a while. I like Greeny and the cast they usually have on there. I'm sick and tired of Stephen A. Smith. Maybe I'll watch PTI, because Pardon the Interruption is an institution and is unbelievable. But for a couple of weeks, ESPN and some of their bigger name talent, you're looking at Mina Kimes, looking at Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, list goes on and on, pushing this stupid solitaire app where essentially you play solitaire for money. And it came around to find out that, the app wasn't on the up and up and ended up being a little bit scammy. And ESPN had to order all of them, Dan Orlovsky, Kendrick Perkins, Laura Rutledge, to cut ties with Papaya Gaming. Stephen A. Smith later announced to be cutting ties as well. What are we doing? Like y'all are sports people. And, and I think that's the biggest issue with this whole thing. And, it's kind of the issue ESPN built themselves with giving Stephen A. Smith the type of contract that they did. Not only is he the highest paid man in sports media, which congratulations to him. He's worked his ass off. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And sometimes he knows what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, like, the act's getting old. I think obviously Disney and ESPN overpaid that contract. And they're, having to suffer the benefits, having to suffer the consequences of their actions with, not only, Stephen A. doing this solitaire thing, but having his own talk show that he's self-promoting on First Take, which Disney doesn't get a cut of, having, this whole, going on all these political shows and trying to push this political narrative on every show he's on. Like, don't get me wrong. Stephen A. Smith is talented enough and speaks well enough and knows his stuff well enough that he can go out there and do any of those things he wants to. I don't think it's fair to the sports fans and to anyone really that Stephen A. Smith splits his time like this. And again, respect the hustle, respect how hard he works and all that. But at the end of the day, like, bro, you were fine at your day job. You weren't the best at your day job. And now you're trying to get a side hustle that you're, fine at. And I get it. He is a polarizing figure. He has his hand in both the sports and political world. That's very evident. And it even drifts over into First Take. We've seen that happen many a times. But like I've always said, let's keep sports the main thing. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. If you're talking about sports, let's talk about sports. If you're talking about politics, talk about politics. We don't need either of the things to intersect because they're both polar opposites. And you're just alienating half your audience. That's really why I won't watch ESPN anymore. It's gotten too political. They've allowed their talent to talk like this and talk about this stuff, which again is fine. And I'm choosing my right to not watch it. I think it's shitty programming. I want to talk about sports. I want to hear about sports. I don't care about everything else. If I wanted to watch that, I'd turn on Fox or CNN or whatever. That's not what it's about. And that's why we won't do it on this show. But again, ESPN just kind of digging their own grave here. And it was going to come. The Stephen A. Smith bubble was going to burst eventually. I didn't think it was going to start happening this fast after he signed that contract with ESPN. But, jack of all trades, master of none. You could argue that he's a master at the sports. But there's a lot of people that would argue the opposite. But hey, Stephen A., make your dollar, brother. Make your dollar while you can. But leave everyone else out of it, People already don't like Mina Kimes, and then you had to drag her into this whole scamming thing. Come on, bro. Come on, be a better leader than that. That's my only thing. But I'm sick and tired. ESPN needs to get their shit together. That is for sure. For sure. But they're not the only ones. And I mean, I guess they're not the only. I guess this isn't a need to get their shit together. I guess this is me not ready or wanting the world of what we have to change. And it seems like the world is going to change heavily in the sports gambling industry, as FanDuel and DraftKings have now announced that they are going to be getting into the prediction market games. Think of Polymarket, think of Kalshi. those fun little apps where you don't really make a bet on anything. No. You buy a contract at a certain price and you buy shares of that contract, and you have the ability to sell that contract at any given time, just like how a stock market works and all of that. Okay, fine, whatever, do your thing. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've messed around with it a little bit. Not my thing. It doesn't do the same thing for me as, a sports book and looking through lines and everything like that. And yes, it's the same process that you could handicap and everything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. Like, that part of the world's going to change. I think it's more of a slippery slope. I think it's a bad thing. I mean, and no regulations on it, no safeguards on it whatsoever. I mean, it's all of the issues everyone had with sports gambling before it was legalized. And then even that everyone has since it's been legalized, that, there's not enough safeguards, there's not enough limiting, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're dealing with the fallout of all of the gambling allegations and everything like that. It's dressing up a pig. They're putting makeup on a pig. That's what the sports books are trying to do. A lot of bad press the last couple of months. I would even say this full year, with all the different gambling scandals, with all the different leagues coming out. It's not a good thing and can't be a good thing. And yes, it does seem like, and we're going to get to it more, NFL looking to ban certain prop bets and looking to really limit other prop bets. It's a slippery slope for what's to come. Now, will I say that there needed to be changes in the gambling world when it came to the insider trading and everything? Absolutely. I think that's more on the leagues and the players than anything. It has nothing really to do with the consumers, except for a couple of bad actors, which you can say about absolutely any industry. And so the fact that the 99% of players who don't have the opportunity to twist someone's arm into doing their bidding to win a sports bet is getting punished because of a couple of bad actors on both the league and the gaming side. It's ridiculous to me. It really is. And they're talking about limiting prop bets to $200 for the MLB. It's unbelievable that gambling has been under so much scrutiny over the last couple of years for something so new. And whenever you get anything new, sure, you're going to get a lot of scrutiny. And yes, we can go ahead and have those arguments. But AJ, I know my uncle's uncle who, lost his shirt, his house, and everything gambling. I know this person who did this, and that. And yes, those stories are out there and exist. But again, it's another small percentage that the parties against gambling and sports gambling in general want to glorify and want to make their soapbox that they can stand on, because they don't really have anything else. And with all the regulations now, with the fact that they can limit, and with the sports books, they don't like losing money. You know what I mean? Yes, they'll keep taking it, but even now there's limits to safeguard all of that. It's ridiculous that it's going to continue to be boiled down. And so the sports books are like, okay, well, this industry that we've, pretty much developed, legalized, and everything, worked so hard on, and now we're going to get slapped with all of these regulations, sanctions, whatever the hell you want to call them. And there's this whole other market over here that nobody has bothered looking into whatsoever when it comes to these prediction markets. You're joking, right? You're joking. Like, of course the sports books are going to go this side, because they have been dragged through the mud. They have been ridiculed. They have been ostracized by, all of the detractors and everything like that. And now, but it's not gambling, it's a prediction market. Like, are people this stupid? And I'm just now realizing it. Because anyone who comes up to you and says, "Oh, I don't do that betting stuff, I just do the prediction markets," they're probably a bigger gambling addict than you, if we're going to be completely honest. And it's a false sense of security when you do bet on that, because you believe you have the option to go ahead and get out whenever you can, save a little bit of money, but it's still the same act. There's no safeguards. There's no regulations around these prediction markets. And, so much to the fact that, it's illegal in the United States to bet on politics. And now we're taking predictions on elections. Does nobody else see the problem here? And it's unbelievable. And I know that I think it was Maryland, of all places, they said to the sports books, like, hey, listen, you get into this whole prediction market thing, you're done here. You get in trouble somewhere else, you're done here with the prediction markets, all that. We're done with it. Las Vegas has already pulled FanDuel's license, and essentially DraftKings withdrew theirs because God, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like it's retail gambling. And usually when you talk about retail gambling, you talk about going into a sports book, going into a casino, and gambling at a retail brick and mortar location. But when you talk about prediction markets, it's just retail gambling. It's gambling made easy. It's gambling to make everyone feel included. And I'm sorry, it shouldn't be. If you want to learn how to sports bet, learn how to sports bet. If you want to learn how to gamble, learn how to gamble. Do it responsibly. Don't get into these prediction markets. I'm very against them, if you can't tell. And it was interesting to try it for the week I tried it. I mean, I wanted firsthand experience in it. Doesn't do it the same thing for me. And I felt a little uneasy. Like, I'm kind of letting the public set the line more than anything. And yes, that kind of happens with sports books, but it's a little, I don't know. And if you don't think those things can get rigged, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. All you need is a one whale to come in, put $100,000 on one way, and then everything's going to flip, and then everything's going to change, and he's going to take a profit before the game even starts. You want to start talking about that's going to be the first big issue that comes up. Pump and dump, just like a stock, because that's what you have the option to do. Everyone's pissy about the crypto markets and, the meme coins, the pumping and dumping, and they're always pissed off at the celebrities for pumping and dumping. That's how it feels to me. It feels even more volatile than the crypto market, if I'm completely honest. But it's gambling made simple, but it is still gambling. And it's the same reason that there should be a phone number to call if you have trouble with QVC and you order too much shit. Same thing with all of the trading platforms that you trade in day stocks and everything. There should be a number on all of them if there's a number for sports gambling, because it's the same concept. You can end up losing your money in a very, very easy way. That's you can lose your money very easily. It's instant gratification, or whatever the hell the psychological term is. The thrill of the hunt, the thrill of buying something, the thrill of placing a bet, the thrill of watching the game. And I get it. It's all entertainment. But if we're going to do it, like, let's keep the main thing. Again, keep the main thing the main thing. Don't get these prediction markets are going to be wild. And I think they're going to be hit with even stricter regulations than sports gambling, considering what they're allowing you to gamble on. There's a reason that not a lot of people. Never mind. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. Main character. I'm not going to lie, dude. I do not touch the NBA. I bet on college basketball all day long. I don't touch the NBA, really, till we get to playoffs. Sorry, brother. Just not my thing. No, don't do that, Trey Liam. But anyway, FanDuel is going to be launching their app in December. I'm sure DraftKings is not going to be far behind. Again, you still have Kalshi and you still have Polymarket who do all of these already. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid, and it's going to get hit with way more regulations than sports betting could ever dream of. And let me tell you, sports betting's got all the regulations in the world. Just absolutely wild and terrible for the game. Just terrible for the game. And I mean, come on. We just went through all of these gambling scandals and everything. And I promise you, there is nothing to verify or not verify whatever contract that someone, places a bet on. And I don't know if there is, the agencies that these leagues use for gambling aren't monitoring those yet, because it's not gambling, it's trading. You're predicting. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And honestly, if you do it, it's weird. Grady, what do you mean, what about the NFL? I don't know what you mean, what about the NFL? But anyway, that's my spiel on that. I'm over it. I think it's dumb. But hey, I guess do what you got to do to make money. It's stupid, though. Speaking of sports gambling being under attack, the NFL did release a memo earlier this week announcing to the teams that essentially they're working with lawmakers, they're working with agencies, they're working with regulators and everything. Not great. And I don't. Sorry, Liam, your thing caught my attention. My running backs are Kamara and JT. Both are on buys in a must-win. Okay, if you're in a must-win, then go ahead and send it, brother. Go ahead and send it but Bucky, I'm going to warn you, Bucky might not be playing. I'm not hearing great things, but I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway. Again. So dumb. Why are we, I guess today's show should have just been called Dumb Things That Is Happening This Week, because it's mind-blowing that, again, the few bad actors are ruining it for the rest of us. Like, am I back in kindergarten for real? Like, group punishment? My goodness, I thought we were past this. But no, apparently not. And so they're working with everyone to get a lot of these prop bets removed and everything. And again, the markets are so small that it's easy to detect gambling activity. That's why they've been able to do it and have so much evidence, because they're betting on all of the prop bets. And again, I get it. And yes, there doesn't need to be, you shouldn't have the ability to bet on every pitch. You shouldn't have the ability to bet on every at bat, et cetera, totals and everything I'm fine with, but you start getting into that, it gets rough, obviously. And I don't know, again, why are we punishing the gamblers? What do we do? We really didn't do anything. It's the mafia. The mafia keeps doing shit as if we're surprised the mafia is doing shit, and they're doing illegal shit. Of course they are. They're the mafia. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. I mean, especially when it comes to the NFL, I know the sports books are going to be a little bit more abrasive about that, because that is their moneymaker. My first day of sports betting, my first day working at a sports book, that was the first thing they talked about. They said, you're probably wondering, what makes us the most money? Well, it is 100% the NFL. Soccer is a close second. NBA is third. MLB, NHL usually battling it out for fourth and fifth, and then all of the other. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cricket was third. That's right. That blew my mind. It was football, soccer, cricket, and then a couple more American sports, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, so the NFL is going to try to ban all of our prop bets, and the No Fun League returns. That is for damn sure. We will see what happens with this. Sportsbooks are going to put up a fight on this one. But again, if they take it away, they're just going to offer it on the prediction markets. So again, we're just going to go into a huge circle with this, and I'm going to be banging my head against the wall for the next 10 years talking about this. It's unbelievable to me. Just absolutely unbelievable. But stupid stuff will continue. And people will continue to get mad. But I'm a person, I'll get mad. I'll come out here and I'll talk about like why I'm mad about a topic or a subject, especially, 100% related to the sports world. And I don't know if I would be a petty, though, passive aggressive and anything like that. I don't know if I would go on, if I had a bad day at work, I would go on stream and play like Office Simulator or anything, and start trash talking about like, yeah, see, this is how much work I could get done if my boss wasn't over my shoulder or anything like that, or if my boss actually cared. Shout out to AJ Brown. He ain't happy with his job, and he's letting everybody know, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Earlier this week, he was live on Twitch playing Madden as the Eagles, and he's just throwing bombs to himself and being like, damn, look at those stats. That's what I can do. I can do this. If only they would throw me the ball. If only, the Jalen would see me. It was hilarious, and one of the better rants I've seen in a while. And then he's practicing, and the media comes up to him in the locker room. He has every opportunity to go ahead and step back. And what does he say? Me making light of my situation on Twitch. That's something I'm not apologizing for, because if you've got eyes, you can see that. Not a team that seems particularly together, but the Eagles' offensive struggles have been well documented throughout this season. And not only this season, they've had issues last year too. And that being the thing where it's like, maybe, but this offense, I don't know. They were able to put it all together in the end and come away with a Super Bowl. And they're putting together another season where it does appear that they might be Super Bowl contenders. And Wide receivers being divas, that's always going to happen. It doesn't seem like he wants more money. It doesn't seem like he wants to get traded. He just wants you to get him the ball. And, yeah, I get it, dude. That's your job. I'd want the ball too if I was a receiver. But Eagles keep winning. Might be by the skin of their teeth, but the Eagles keep winning. Why AJ Brown is not a part of the game plan more, I cannot tell you that. I don't have an ear on the inside. But, this is something that's been boiling over and bubbling for a while now. Not surprised that it's starting to come to light, but obviously not something you want to be the front and center attention going into, the back end of the season. But this could also be, I did think about this a little bit. This could also be just super high IQ football by Nick Sirianni. Shit, we're having a good season. We keep winning these games. Everyone likes each other. Let's just stir some shit up. Hey, AJ Brown, we're not going to throw to you this week. We're not going to throw to you for 2 weeks, and then I want you to go on Twitch and bitch about it, all right? Let's start getting this going. Let everyone think that we have some chemistry issues. But what, coach? We're chilling. No, we're not chilling. We're not chilling. Let's go ahead and stir up some controversy. I mean, if that's the case, Nick Sirianni might be the best head coach ever. Is that the case? Probably not, but it's fun to think that it is. It is fun to think that it is. This one I just put in here for fun because this one's for me. Because I personally, every year for the last couple of years, the NFLPA has given a survey to all of the players to grade your team, from facilities to food, childcare, family accommodations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the NFLPA releases a report card for every team every year. And, there's a couple of teams that are always at the bottom. My Arizona Cardinals being one of those, the New York Jets being one of those. Woody Johnson calling the whole thing totally bogus. And the NFL owners have filed a grievance against the NFLPA to stop the annual report cards. Why? Huh? You guys don't like all the bad press? Is that why? These multi-billion-dollar teams, you don't want it getting out that so not all the players are treated equally? You know that these colleges are putting in state-of-the-art facilities, state-of-the-art locker rooms, and the Cardinals are getting ready at what used to be an elementary school? Come on, bro. Come on. And it's so funny every year. And I love seeing the Cardinals comments and everything around it. It's like, dude, there's so much money. I know there's so much money. I paid for a ticket this season. I know you guys have a lot of money. I know how much I'm paying for Sunday ticket. I know. You're telling me these boys can't get a good shower? You're telling me that, seriously, and you go back and watch the Hard Knocks that the Cardinals were on, the midseason one, that facility looked like trash. It looked tired. It looked worn. It looked like they were in prison, which honestly, most of those players that season probably felt like they were in prison. So maybe overall it was a good thing for the Cardinals. But, man, again, the No Fun League is striking again, and they are coming in with a force here. Now trying to take away this. I don't think the PA is going to push. I think it's going to end up being something in the next CBA. I don't think this is something the PA is going to back up on. Well, if everything was better, we wouldn't have this issue now, would we? Crazy stuff. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, that's right. Let's get to this, because the NBA is trying to bring a little bit more excitement to the All-Star weekend and essentially stealing the NHL's idea when they did the Four Nations last year. That was an absolute and utter success and was incredible. And this is what the format will look like. 3 teams, 2 USA, 1 world team, 4 games, 12 minutes each, round robin, tournament, championship, top 2 from round robin, meeting game 4, all-stars, 24 players, 12 from each conference, selected without regard to position. Sure. Why not? Let's try it, I guess. USA versus the world, something that has been talked about in the basketball world for a long time and has been talked about, I guess, in multiple sports for a while now. The World Baseball Classic coming back in 2026, going to be another year of absolute bangers of baseball games. This year happening in March, right there in spring training to get you ready for the MLB season, which I think is an absolutely great move by baseball as a whole. Let's go ahead and have our biggest tournament into the season with the biggest league. I think that's absolutely genius. We'll see how this works. We'll see how this works for the NBA. And I mean, at the end of the day, the formatting doesn't really matter. If we're going to be realistic, the formatting doesn't really matter. It matters if they're going to get anyone to try. And that has historically been an issue when it comes to the NBA and All-Star weekends for all of these leagues. So we'll see if this is able to change, but I'm not sure about that. Other news in the NBA, Steph Curry and Under Armour, they're no more. Oh, no. They are done. They have decided to park ways. Steph Curry will be taking all designs and shoes and shirts and whatever else he sells in-house, and will be handling it that way. Good luck to Steph Curry. Still one of the best to ever do it. Still killing it out there. This will probably work very well for him and making him an even richer man than he is now, which I don't know if is possible. Last thing, MLS. Not something that we talk about often on this show, but when it's big enough news, yeah, I'll go ahead and put my soccer scarf on and start rooting for the boys. But this coming out today. The word, and the rumors were coming out the last couple of days, and now being official, MLS owners have officially voted to flip to a fall and spring schedule, aligning with top leagues around the world. League will start this format in 2027, so they'll continue with their normal schedule in 2026, start in 2027 with that fall to spring schedule. I don't know. And let me tell you why I don't know. Because, you start a league in America. You don't fuck with the NFL. I don't know how, and yes, I know the MLS is, pretty much tucked away on Apple TV and everything like that. So I'm not too worried about like TV rights or anything like that. But I don't know. The MLS seems like it's been growing at a pretty steady pace the last couple of years, and it's become more popular in the United States, which for soccer to do in general is difficult. But hey, shout out to the MLS for keeping it moving. You got a lot of teams in the Midwest and the East Coast and Northwest with outdoor stadiums. We're going to be seeing a lot of snow, a lot of snow games in the soccer world, which, a lot of those stadiums are prepared for. They host NFL teams. But again, why? And when your only competition really in the summer is the MLB and the WNBA, I don't know. I would rather take that fight on than anything else. And I mean, it's a niche enough market when it comes to the sports world that MLS fans aren't really going to care, and they're probably going to like having, it match up with the big leagues, makes them seem like a big league, I guess. But I don't know. I thought that was an interesting move for me. But anyway, that's all I got today, guys. That is all I got today. Just wanted to hop on for a little talk some sports, start to enjoy my weekend. I'll be live tomorrow morning as we break down top 25 matchups in college football and college basketball. Can't wait to break those down. And then Sunday morning doing fantasy football, sit starts, and everything. MLB World Series had more viewers than the Super Bowl. And honestly, it might not anymore, considering they're talking about splitting up that TV deal. Yeah, MLB seeing everyone else make money, and they're starting to think, the World Series can be on 5 different platforms. Or I guess 4. I guess you'd have to do 4 platforms. But one of them is going to get screwed then. Ooh, MLB's got issues. But hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X, TikTok. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help out a lot more than you know. But with all of that being said, have a great rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend. I, of course, have been the Brofict one, AJ. Good luck. God bless. See you guys next time on Degenerate Takes.